No one knows more than Boogie Cousins what that feels like to have to leave basketball before the season is over. See, I'll start with you. How devastating is Kevin Durant's injury?
Oh, it's an awful injury. It's an awful injury. And anytime you see an elite athlete, because injuries are a part of sport, but they're the thing as far as a career that an athlete is the variable they don't have control over. That, where they're going to play, most of the time they don't have control over those things. Kevin Durant tried. He tried to give it the type of effort, and typically in sports, as an athlete, you feel the pressure to compete. You feel the pressure not let your teammates down, and also you feel the pressure of greatness, and that is, even though I might not be 100%, I'm going to try it, and that's where great performances, that's where we get them from, with a decision just like last night. The medical staff, they said he was cleared to play. Kevin Durant and his teammates needed him. So Kevin Durant tried to put himself out there. But for every athlete who was watching that last night, I hope they learned one thing from it. And that's listen to your body. Because your body won't lie to you. You can only listen to the doctor so far. You can only listen to the training staff, listen to the coaches, and you definitely can't listen to your teammates. Because if you listen to them, they're not feeling your body, and they'll have you out there playing. That's why any type of teammates that I have, I never encourage guys if they were injured. Man, I tell them, know your body, man. Know your body. Whatever's going to happen after, you're supposed to be out there, you'll be out there. Now, once you're in the game and someone gets dinged or injured during the game, that's different. Then you try to tell the guy to suck it up, man. We need you. We like to have you out there. But this is totally different. And this was a prime example of a guy ignoring the signs that his body gave him the warning signs. He ran through those a couple days ago before Friday's game. He worked out. Jalen Rose said it. I saw he had a private workout. It didn't go well. His body gave him a warning. And now it's amazing that the doctors, because they're down 3-1, then they cleared him before Game 5. It's amazing how doctors and the timing of games and season, how you get cleared. NFL guy blows out his knee. When does he get cleared? About Labor Day. That's when the season's getting ready to start. Yeah. So for me, unfortunate for Kevin Durant. I do understand what he was trying to go through, because the bond that you have with your teammates, that I will push myself beyond what I can do for each other, that's why we play sports. And last night, Kevin Durant didn't get a fair share for what he tried to accomplish. And the pressure of trying to get back out there in an NBA Finals. Oh, man, I can understand. Two-time defending MVP, absolutely. Still trying to fight for respect at this point in his life. Still trying to fight for respect. That's why Kevin Durant was out there last night. I've always loved Kevin Durant as a basketball player. And last night, he earned even more respect because he jeopardized his whole career for them guys. And the worst injury a basketball player can suffer is a torn Achilles. And now he either has a torn Achilles or a severely strained Achilles.
And he had already more than held up his end of the bargain with this franchise and this organization. Whatever his plans were, and we've obviously speculated enormously on that for this summer, when he agreed to come over and play with them, the off-court stuff aside, he has been, during the NBA Finals, their best guy in consecutive years. He has shown up to work. On the court, he's done everything his teammates have asked of him, his coaches have asked of him. And yet, despite that, and I wonder who these people are, and I wonder if Kevin Durant has an idea of who these people are. Who was whispering in Tim Kawakami's ear that led Tim to write, if Clay or Looney or Curry or Green or Andre Iguodala had this injury 30 days ago, would the Warriors still be waiting for them? Because that wasn't Tim. That was who was talking to Sam Amick, who he said sources that said, quote, there's confusion, angst, and, quote, a question about pushing through the way Clay, Boogie, Iguodala, and Looney have. That frustration and irritation were growing, according to Sam's report, in the locker room or in the organization, that KD wasn't out there. If I heard that, KD heard that.
Of course.
And KD then, they're on the brink of elimination. He goes out there and tries to give it his best shot, knowing if I don't go out there and we lose, people will forever question, could I have gone out there? If I don't go out there and they come back from a 3-1 deficit and win, people are going to forever question, how much did they ever really need me?
It felt like a lose-lose situation for Kevin Durant.
Now I'm in a spot where there are people close to the team reporting that some people in this locker room wonder if I'm dogging it. So he went out there and for 12 minutes of the first 14 played, even though Kerr said it was going to be short bursts. Those weren't no short bursts. The only short burst was his time on the bench. For those 12 minutes, he was the best player on the court. And now, a guy who, Chris, you said you had heard he wants to play till he's 40. A guy who people have realistically said could become the NBA's all-time leading scorer. Now he's going to almost assuredly miss a full season of basketball and have his career potentially forever altered by this fork-in-the-road moment.
There were a lot of people that had their hand in the proverbial cookie jar, if you will, in making this decision between, I'm sure, Myers you saw and the training staff and Steve Kerr and the people around KD and Kevin Durant himself. Do you blame the Warriors for what happened to Kevin Durant? Is there any blame that you can place on anyone?
Sports teams are going to do what they do, and that's try to win games, and they're going to push the product out there. They don't care anything about the athlete. Bob Myers, he was crying last night. But typically, they don't. This is what they do. They push the athlete to be on the court or on the field. It happens all the time in sports. And they should assume some of the blame. Absolutely. Because Kevin Durant hadn't been through a full NBA practice. Now, I know he might have been cleared for physical contact. He might have been cleared to practice, but he didn't make it through an NBA practice. He shouldn't have been playing the NBA Finals without being cleared, without going through that protocol. So what ends up happening, because you don't have time on your side, you take the shortcuts. Oh, man, he'll play with some of the backup guys. Oh, he'll play with some of the coaches. He'll play 2-on-2, 3-on-3. Had Kevin Durant participated in a full NBA practice before last night's game? No. And there is no doctor that would say, that's the way I'm going to bring him back into competition. And let alone, it is the most intense competition that he's ever been involved in his career.
And bring him back, see, it with what they said before the game was no minutes restrictions. No, I mean, and before the game...
I don't believe that. I believe they just made that up.
Okay, well, I'm just saying...
When you haven't been through a practice, it doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't make common sense. People say a lot of things to get through that conversation.
Sure.
But there's no way Kevin Durant wouldn't have a minutes restriction. He didn't make it through 12 minutes.
Well, and that's before the game, they said there wasn't going to be a minutes restriction, but what they did say was he was going to play in short bursts. Instead of, in the first 14 minutes, he played as much as anybody. I mean, he played 12 of the first 14 minutes before what looks like his Achilles popped on him. This is, as far as who deserves blame, I circle back to what I said. I really want to know what we read as external pressure.
Or if that was true. Because with you saying that, you're saying that Tim and them, what they reporting was true. So we've been reporting a lot of things coming out of Golden State. So to me, the pressure for players to play is always there. No Tim releasing a story. That doesn't put any more pressure on us because people say things. I'm not going to validate it because I haven't seen an elite athlete who didn't want to be out there compared to what they were saying about KD.
No, but we talked about yesterday whether or not there would be either people in the locker room or people around the people in the locker room saying, why isn't he there? And even if we take Tim's column aside, Sam Amick, I mean, he has quotes from sources, and I trust Sam Amick on this. Though, if that's what the external pressure was, what was being said behind the scenes to KD that didn't get out there that maybe made him feel more pressure? I've got to play, the season's on the line. And now we might not see Kevin Durant play basketball again for 12 months.
But no one can have an influence on a player. His body is his moneymaker. No one can make a player go out there. Kevin Durant is too experienced. He's been in this league too long. He is too good. For us to say, oh, some rumor forced him. No, the greatest athletes also have the greatest drive. Michael Jordan, flu conditions, temperature. He shouldn't have been playing that game in Utah, but that great performance, because he was able to get through it, we were able to see it. So Kevin Durant, you can't be forced out there by some rumor. Kevin Durant is too sophisticated, too smart for that. He loves basketball, and that's what got him out there yesterday. That's my biggest problem is listen to your body. And his body was telling him everything but be in that competition last night. He went through that stop sign that was right there for him, and he ended up getting injured.
All right, so the Warriors lose Kevin Durant now for good for this season. That is the one headline. The other one is that the Warriors themselves beat the Raptors. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.